Mic test. There we go. What's going on, y'all? Happy Friday. It's time for some stream action. It's no noise. I am Z Rex. It is, what is it, the 8th of September 2023. About 2:30 in the afternoon. About 30 minutes before the U.S. session close. We'll be checking out those markets here in a second. Hope y'all had an awesome week. Let's dive right into the price action. Not much to really talk about. Been pretty much flat as hell for most of this week. Um, let's just start with total market cap. Yeah, pretty much nothing there. Let's jump over to Mama Bear. Had a little bit of a bump yesterday, a little $500 bump, but just right to the 21 EMA. And so far, immediate rejection. So not really any momentum by the Bulls being built at all. Just kind of chilling here in this sideways bullshit range that we've been in since mid-August. So how many days is it now? About 3 weeks exactly that we just kind of been chilling down here. Let's go to the weekly talking about that. So this week, guys, this is going to start to look kind of bad. So even in the macro, if we don't rally above, let's say, about 27 and a half or so, that will be 3 open and closes below the 21. And that's generally when we get flips in the momentum. So that would be, we'd have to kind of start leaning more bearish there, maybe neutral to slight bearish if that is, or to close in 2 days, in 5 hours. Let's go to futures because it looks like we probably will. Yeah, we're going to get that on futures. I mean, outside of some insane rally in the next hour and a half, another, like $1,500, which, I mean, anything can happen, but probably not very probable there. Now, is there areas of where this happens before and we kind of float below for a few weeks and it doesn't crash? Yeah, it does. Like here's one right before Corona. Here's 3 weeks actually exactly, and then it rallied 16% right after that. I mean, of course, nothing's 100% except that you will take losses in trading, but in this instance, nothing's 100% on the TA charts, and It's a really precarious spot because even though we got these 3 open and closes potentially setting up here below the 21, we still have mega major support at 24,000 on the tops of all this business. And 24K has been like a level for a while. And let's see here. And you always have to go with structure first. Structure trumps everything. So until really we breach 24,000, we can't get like uber bearish, and open and close on a weekly candle below that range would be very nasty for the bears. But the weird thing about this positioning, even though it is below the 21 EMA, the 200, and the 55, we're not getting any follow through. And if we pull a fib on this, we talked about this last week a little bit, we're still above the 382 retracement. Generally, in trending markets, price will stay above, in strong trending markets, I should say, price will stay above the 382 very consistently. And so that's also right at 24,000. So yes, the 3 weeks open and close below 21 is nasty and generally warrants flipping to bearish in this instance. Sometimes it is to bullish positioning, like back over here, which you can check out some of those streams too if you'd like. But that structure trumps everything, and above 24,000, we can't really get heavily bearish until that happens. So if this week does close below here, I will be neutral. Pretty much it'll take me out of my bullish stance, and I'll just kind of go to neutral. And I was thinking about this week, is like, because I talked about it in the stream last time about getting flipping bearish just off of the 21, but we can't just base that off of one thing. Nothing's that simple. If it was, we'd all be super rich and all that kind of stuff. But so using the structure, 24,000, that's also the 382 retracement. Fibonacci is very powerful, and we're just kind of lollygagging here. So that's kind of my stance here, is neutral if we open and close this last week below here. And we'll have to just see the reaction over the next month or so after this closes, because it's just such in a very weird spot. All right, I think I got my point across on that. I feel like that was a little long-winded for my point. And then you go to GBDC, though. Look at this. It's up 4% today. Oh, wait, what? No, I'm sorry, on the weekly. Today it's down just slightly. It's pretty much flat as hell. But you can see, look at this, bounce off of the trend line again. And if you pull up the weekly on this, like we talked about last week and a few other times, this is a very different chart than Bitcoin. This one is fully intact bullish. So very different than spot price. Really needs to clear above about 20 bucks. And that could probably even ratchet down to a daily. Yeah, we haven't even gotten a daily open and close above 20. Well, I guess this little doji right here technically was. Let's see. Yeah, by 20 cents. But pretty weak sauce, and it was a doji. So you never want dojis to be your open and close. You want some nice girthy candles like this one or this one here, whatever. But yeah, so 20 bucks. This is where the kind of confusion is to add to the spot price, like I was just describing. It's like it does look like it's trying to get bearish, but we're still above 24K, which is kind of the line in the sand. And then you look at GBDC, and we're literally like making higher highs and higher lows off of perfect structure. So you got, the first set right here to make the higher highs and higher lows. And it comes back, test right here on the tops. Bam, again, boom, test right on the tops. I mean, it's literally textbook. So pretty interesting there. If you were just looking at GBDC, you'd be like, oh man, that's bullish as hell. Then weirdly enough, you flip over here to BitO, and it looks like spot price. Actually looks worse than spot price. So I don't know how they're managing this, the fees or something. It's a garbage ass product anyway. So whatever, who cares? We'll move on. Let's go to Unicorn Shirt, man. What is he doing? USM, Unicorn Shirt, man. He is just chilling too. Nothing really. Still below the 21 EMA. The Bears still technically have the momentum. They're above 26 on DMI. So definitely. Oh, man, look at this. We're about to have double vol flashes on the weekly print. Oh, man, right on the 200. Oh man, like I said, I'm sticking to my guns from last or earlier in the week that we're probably in the next, definitely by the end of the year for sure. We're going to see either like probably 1200 handle, or we're probably going to see like the 20 low 2000s. Is kind of my guess. This is very wild. Getting weekly vol prints, you do not usually see that on crypto. That's pretty rare. I think Litecoin maybe had one time. No. Yeah, like I said, it's super rare. Even in traditional markets, you don't get that too often. Let's see here. So, but again, horizontals are kind of trumping everything here above 1570 and below about 1800. That's kind of the range. And until we get out of that, it's fairly neutral. All right, Litecoin, same shit. Just Litecoin actually looks worse. To be fair, we do have price action all up underneath the consolidation over here and below the horizontal of 64 bucks. Like barely holding on. Let's ratchet out to the weekly. Yeah, I mean, just right on top of this. This is either going to be like the most epic long entry right here, or you'll just get stopped out pretty quick. I mean, it really is only about 18% down. I mean, that's if this rallies from here, I think we easily do 18-20%. But anyway, kind of in the same positioning. Really, we just got to watch Mama Bear and Unicorn Shirt Man at this point, because all these other charts are going to look almost the same. I'm not going to really go through them. Monday's stream pretty much sums all this up nicely. So that's fine. That's fine. Everything is just kind of barely bouncing. Just looking pretty ugly to neutral. Just blah, blah, blah. What was some outliers last time? I think it was Tron. Tron's still actually looking better, showing relative strength because it's on the other side of the 21 EMA, so that's nice. Still looks really good above like 7.4. And I think BCH was actually one of the better ones. Yeah, BCH is also a top. It's 21 as well. Just shy of the 210 kind of horizontal, though. You can see it tried to do that yesterday and got immediately rejected. So that is confirming that is the point of contention right around 210. Not a surprise, though. Horizontals. I don't want to brag too much, but I do draw some pretty solid horizontals. Maybe we'll go in a video about how I draw those. In short, I just kind of look for on a weekly chart, especially for crypto, sometimes monthly. I just try to look for the most bodies that kind of touch because it is a little bit subjective, right? SDA, Doge, whatever. All these are just whatever. Ton was up. Okay, so Ton is continuing to show some strength too, well above its 21. Finding a little struggle at the 200 in this trend line. So just about $2 rounded off. That's kind of the next area it needs to clear for the bulls to get the Momo back. And until then, this move is probably exhausted. All right, let's go to ES. ES, wow, what a little gap here. That's kind of crazy. What is that? That was a gap at right on the open of what the hell? Right when futures reopened yesterday, we had a freaking, I missed that. We had a freaking 50-point jump. That is pretty impressive. I don't think that happened in Russell, though. No, Russell's still on the lows. Okay, I totally missed that. Little interesting gap up on all the majors except Russell. And it's back up over 4,500. Very wild. Weekly actually looks pretty. This is really good weekly hammer building up here above 45 hundo. If this closes like this, that's actually pretty damn sexy. Same for the Nasdaqians. Yep, same shit. I mean, y'all already know what's up. Above 45, it's way more bullish. Between 44, or pretty much the 44 handle, is neutral. 45 and up, bullish. Below 44, bearish. It's actually real easy right now for the indices, for the charts. They are going sideways as F, and we talked about this possibly being some kind of head and shoulders pattern, and it does seem to kind of fit the bill, especially on the Russell. This is a pretty textbook one right here. You do need confirmation, though, and we would need a daily open and close below 1840, and that would kick off this head and shoulders pattern. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Which, if we do a measured move, which you take the move from the headline from the neckline, sorry, to the head. I try to combine the words. And let's see, that would actually target us roughly to the bottom of this trend line below range. So that's a hell of a freaking move right there, y'all. Whoa. How many percent is that? 8%. Holy smokes. Ooh, interesting. We don't have that though on the. I mean, we kind of have a little bit of it, but it's not as defined as the one on the Russell. So let's jump out to the weekly real quick. Oh yeah, this is a nasty weekly for Russell. If this closes like this below 1858, that is engulfing of a nice run by bulls, and that's immediate rejection. So that would actually be a pretty bearish candle if it does close like this here in the next hour or so. So interesting. Very opposite of the other major indices, which Russell, I do believe, is the one to watch more so than the other ones. It seems to be more in tune with the economy. The NASDAQ is, 6, 7 stocks are like 30% of the index. So it's a little bit skewed. Russell has a little bit more real economy metrics in it, if you will. Anyway, let's see here. Yeah, I did want to make an example of that with the Russell. You could see this sideways action when everything was rallying really hard in 2021. And then it finally attempted to break out, right? At 606, actually. How funny. And then literally doji very next week and rejection the following week. And this was like a really good sign that all that was just fluffy bullshit. And then the Bears did come in and make themselves known. That's for sure. Anyway, just to kind of show Russell is a good one. And we talked about that too. That Russell really needed to clear 2,000 to, I think, get the Bulls super excited, and they're just really struggling to get over that. Now we're back in the middle of this stupid range. Yay, more range trading. Hey. Oh, the trannies are selling off here. It does have major support though at 15K, just like NASDAQ. So looks like we're pretty much about there. Let's go to TNX real quick. Let's just jump to that because I'm curious if that got over 430. That's kind of our pivot point. No, it did not. Look at that, right to 430, and rejected so far. Let's see if it stays above like 420ish. Of course, it's 420. If it stays above like 420. That would put still a lot of pressure on the majors, and we could see some pretty serious selling if rates just kind of continue to go up and mess with the bond market and strengthen the dollar, all that good stuff that happens when the rates go up. And look where we're at. We're right between this little magenta candle. So really outlining how important 420 and 430 is, and we're just ping-ponging it between that this week. Let's go look at oil because that one's been... Yeah, this one stalled out. So interestingly enough, yesterday I noticed that XLE and all the other here, let me just pull it up on the sector majors. All these top ones are energy related, and all of them were selling off yesterday as oil kind of kept rallying. And so it was kind of maybe a little bit, they're like the miners. If you're looking at gold miners or like the crypto miners, and we look at those too, you kind of want them to be moving in lockstep. And when one of them kind of starts separating, you might want to watch and keep an eye on that. So I did notice that yesterday and was expecting a little bit of stall. And now we're just kind of just lollygagging up here. Pretty decent. Let me see, stupid chart. Pretty decent resistance for this little first chunk, right at about where we are at, like 89, 90 bucks. And ultimately mega resistance at 95. So this is the first part to a little stall out. So not that surprising. Overall, though, still looks really, really good above 84 handle. Let's see. What's VIX doing? Yeah, it spiked and got rejected. Spiked, got rejected. It did come back out of this little 82 zone that it's been in for a while, or showing support at for a while now. So that's kind of interesting that it did a little false breakdown and popped back up. So I'm going to keep an eye on this next week, because if it starts creeping back up towards 100, that'll give us a little sign. And VVIX moves different than VIX. That's like the volatility on VIX. It's kind of a weird little gig there. It doesn't really make sense. You're like, what? Vol on vol? It's vol squared? It's vol. Let's see here. We already did TNX. Let's go to gold. Probably selling off. A lot of pressure with rates going up. Had a decent rally, but ultimately just made a lower high and an even low. So we're building a sloppy, like descending triangle sort of. Really good support about 1900. But the 1900 handle in general, so pretty much from 1900 to 2000 is the range. And until we're out of that, it's literally just ping pong mode for that. Silver really getting slapped right all the way back down to the bottom of range. This is just brutal price action. Unless you're a range trader, then you're loving this shit because every other week you're pretty much taking profits at this rate. Um, Still looks really good above this little doji and right on the trend line cross at like 20, just shy of 23. So as long as we're above that, it's all right. But definitely getting the pressure on from rates getting spiked up. Man, platinum all the way back below 900. Nasty, nasty rejection. And ultimately, again, a lower high. This one does have a lower low. Is it about to make another lower low? It does kind of look like it wants to be fair. All right, let's go to blockchain index stuff. Just kind of curious where that's at. Yeah, very, very sideways. Yeah, nothing really to add. Just kind of price acceptance. Looks good. It's like GBDC. It looks good, man. Off the miners for Bitcoin stuff. I mean, this looks really sexy, actually, above 370 ish. So, kind of just the bifurcation still stands between spot and the tradables surrounding it. Oh, core is bouncing off that 69 level. Very nice for cores. Not too bad. Let's see what the weekly looks like. Wow, doji and a little bit of follow through. This is actually a fairly sexy chart still. I really like this chart above the mid 60s. I don't have any issues with it. Did Apple? Yeah, Apple got slapped yesterday, just kind of chilling. But it did. Oh, look at this. I missed that magenta candle on Wednesday. So, and right up to the trend line, very interesting price action. Rejection out of the gap, couldn't even fill it. This has me leaning a little bit bearish for Apple, and maybe since Apple's one of the major 5 to 7 players that make up the entire Nasdaq index, pretty much, this is actually telling a little bit. Let's see if Microsoft is doing something like that. No, Microsoft is still looking okay. On Amazon. This is look. We got double vol flashes up here. This is looking a little bit distribution esque. Facebook. What else is on that? Nvidia is also. Man, we got bearish divergence all through here, through this one to this one to this one to this one. That's 4 stabs of bearish divergence. If this thing loses 40-40 again, I'm sorry, 440. That gives the Bears a pretty good chance of momentum, and this gap is going to get filled at some point. This is a huge gap, $75 gap right here is likely to get filled, and I could see that happening if let's see, if Apple starts to break down for sure. This is interesting. We got this candle. This is momentum shift potential below 188 on Apple. So if you're super long Apple, I would be a little bit careful here. I think that's also warranted across most of the majors since they're not able to really get serious Momo here going. All right, let's see here. I believe that's probably it. Yeah, this one's a it was a fast stream today, but there just wasn't a lot to add. There wasn't been that much price action. So let's see if the weed stocks are still running. My God, they are. Get the F out of here. Of course, when I sell man, CGC, what a freaking run. Of course, let me go look at the other one, the one I did have. It's probably up more. Yeah, look at this. So I sold most of my position right here. And of course, it rallies a little bit longer because, we never can time the exact top or bottom. The bottom, I feel like, is easier to pick a lot of times than the top. The top sometimes just it's just so difficult when shit just goes up and up and up like this. And you all already know about that if you trade crypto. So, ooh, nice spot here getting squeezed like a mofo. This bitch, if it clears $1, I mean, man, over $1, I think it fills this gap right here at 150. So, and then above 150, it starts to actually get real bullish. Zion has been bought out, so I think we're just going to take that off of here because that's definitely buyout chart right there. All right, let's just take that off. MJ, nice. This could actually be the flippening for weed. We've talked about this a lot. I went into depth at it pretty much over the last month. I did a good stream and chat about it on Monday or Tuesday. No, wait, it was Tuesday. On Tuesday, a little off this week. Sorry about that. But on Tuesday, we talked about this and how this is a better flip than we've seen on weed since freaking before the rally, really. I mean, in the last 3-4 years, this is like the best flippening potential that we've had. And we'll just do it with this chart just because it's the ETF. And the reason I'm saying that is one, we're starting to breach this trend line and the 200. We haven't done that since it started selling off and everyone forgot about weed. But also over that, the structure part of it is more important to me. And that's what I was mentioning on Tuesdays. If you notice these rallies, they come up right to about previous structure and get rejected. These are just little liquidation breaks is what these are. Selling continues. We get deep selling or a little liquidation break up to the next cluster, rejection immediately. You see it here again to the next cluster, rejection immediately. Same here, although it was just a little bit tinier one. But then this time it stalls out, tries to sell off again, and then we get above all of this structure going back to pretty much 420. How funny is that? So I just noticed that. That's kind of hilarious. Of course it's around 420. But anyway, this is different. This is making a potential higher high now off of structure, and we haven't seen that, like I said, in 3-4 years. So this is definitely a big deal. And with the Health and Human Services for America saying that we need to put it down to Schedule 3. I mean, I haven't heard a big announcement like that from the Fed for a while, but we were anticipating this, for pretty much this summer that there is something coming up, just the way the charts were. There's lots of bearish divergence, and it's just good timing too for the elections coming up. How convenient for that. We're not going to get all political because I don't care about politics really at all, but just kind of funny. That's generally when they happen. And lots of volume. Look at this volume. We have to take out this little spike, this little hype spike right here back in early 21. So if we take that out, you can see this is actually the most clustered volume since about this run and this little run here. But look at the structure, though. We're also crossing up on the 21 and the 55. And so this is, I really like how this is setting up. And I will be buying dips in weed stocks for a hot minute until this breaks down. Ooh, AC, let's go. I did buy some of this one the other day, this week actually. So that's cool. Very nice. Like to see that one. I just noticed it hadn't followed through yet. And I was like, wait, why the hell is ACB not rallying hard? So I did that one, and then what was the other one I bought? I bought something else that hadn't ran yet either. I don't know, whatever it was. It doesn't really matter. Alrighty, let's see. I think that's it. Let's just wrap this up. Mama Bear, stay above 24K. We're gonna go into neutral stance at the weekly closes here, and then have to reassess from there. And then below 24, it gets nasty. Really need to get back above 28,000 and start building the chart there, and it'll look sexy. Other than that, man, much love. Appreciate y'all hanging out. Let's have a great weekend. Hope you have a happy Friday and all that jazz. This has been No Noiz. I am Z Rex. I'll catch y'all next week. Peace.